Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review would be Godzilla 2019. So this basically, since the remake of Godzilla, this is basically part 2 in the trilogy series. Well, I want to say trilogy. Well, I guess you could say this is part 2 of Godzilla, but it's really like part 3 of the trilogy because King Kong Skull Island was really 2 of the trilogy, and then I think the next one will be King Kong versus Godzilla. Let's get into it. So this one picks up 5 years after Godzilla 1, when Godzilla first appeared, and the main 3 actors and actresses in this is Millie Brown, Bobby Brown, who many of you know from Stranger Things. She is a lead on here as Madison Russell. Her parents, Emma Russell and Mark Russell, played by Vera Farmiga and Kyle Chandler, are the main 3 actor and actresses in the film. So like I said, back in 2014 when Godzilla first appeared, the Russell's son was killed during the Godzilla appearance, and the husband, he resented that whole situation. He spiraled out of control, got depressed, started drinking. He turned his back on his family. The mom, she went into a state of, we need to be prepared if this happens again, and I need to make a device to make the world better and dedicate this to my son, make sure my son's death didn't go in vain. The mom kept the daughter, and the daughter been corresponding with the dad through email time for time. So it picks up 5 years later, and it gets right into it, where the mom has built this device that it could communicate with these monsters if they was to surface to calm them down or to do whatever. However, everybody thinks Godzilla has disappeared, but he really hasn't disappeared. He's just under the surface waiting, and he circles around certain areas, making sure things are intact. And the corporation has been harboring these monsters. So it's been monsters that they found that popped up over time within the last 5 years, and they've been harboring them, where they, freezing them or keeping them sedated, where they kept from the world, but they do exist. So what they have done is one of the monsters, which is Mothra, Mothra is in a cocoon, not even a cocoon yet. She's being birthed. So when Mothra is being birthed, she come out and she's firing her little spit thing at the humans that's there. However, the doctor picks her little device that she created, and it calms her down or whatever. But then this group out of nowhere comes and shoot up the people, and then you like, oh man, but the doctor and her daughter is alive. So meanwhile, Mothra is a baby, and they figure once Mothra disappears and goes into a cocoon, she's gonna come out with something different or whatever. So it speeds to the doctor. Like I said, he spiraled. He kind of turned his back on the family. He's out with wolves and seeing the wolves in their habitat, and then the off-the-grid government special agency, they come and grab him, and they explain to him what's going on. Hey, your ex-wife created this device, yada yada yada, and we need you to help track the device. And he was like, it was just a prototype. Yeah, well, your wife made the device. So he's looking kind of worried or whatever. And he's still frustrated, saying Godzilla is, he should be dead or whatever. And he said, I thought he disappeared, but they've been keeping track of Godzilla. So, they know exactly where Godzilla is. And it's a big scene where Godzilla pops up, where all these things starting to hatch. The monsters start to hatch. Godzilla starts to get alarmed because he know those monsters are starting to surface and he has to protect. So he started getting rattled underneath the water, and then they told him open the hatch so they can view, and he gets to see that they don't mean no harm. So he pretty much look at them as like at peace, and he let them go. Meanwhile, the wife is going, she's really in on with the bad guys that you think is ultimately the bad guys. She's really in on opening of the monsters so they can roam the earth. They believe that so the human race doesn't get extinct, that the monsters will come and start new life and allow the world to get a second chance by restoring new life in the world. Whoever survives, survives. And this crazy mystical belief that letting the monsters loose instead of keeping them confined is a good thing, or instead of killing them is a good thing. So there is a main monster, Ghidorah, the three-headed dragon monster. That monster, once that monster is let loose, that monster instantly takes control of all the other monsters and have them come out of their shell. So that's where Godzilla first shows up and appears in the movie. And of course Godzilla and that thing starts to fight, but that thing really gets the best of Godzilla. Godzilla bites the head off one of them and the head grew back. So overall, that's the plot of the story. Ghidorah. There's another monster by Rodan. That's like a eagle, big hawk type monster. And that's the plot of the story, how to get Godzilla to reign king. So it talks about Skull Island. We all know that's where King Kong is, but it just gloss over. Like they basically say, yeah, it's something in Skull Island. Of course, you don't see King Kong or nothing like that. And when all the other monsters start surfing, of course, King Kong doesn't surface or whatever, because he's king of his own domain, but he stay in his own lane or whatever. So Godzilla gets hurt pretty bad at one point, and they start to say, well, we need him because he's our best shot because the government sent out this like bomb that anything breathing will be annihilated. That's from this earth. That Ghidorah is not from this earth. It's kind of like they said, like she was like an alien type thing or whatever, an alien dragon thing. So that's why when they set that bomb off, it didn't hurt that. It hurt Godzilla where he went back in the water down in his cave. Well, it's a city underneath the ocean. And that's where he went back to his area. And so he was there pretty much rejuvenating and healing. But his healing could take years. So they had the thought that we need something that can recharge him. So they thought, well, we send a nuclear bomb down there and let that thing go off, and then that's going to recharge him. And pretty much it did, but they needed somebody to get close enough to set it off. And so the Asian doctor who's in part one, he volunteered to sacrifice his life to be able to, so that they could get the betterment and set off the nuclear bomb. And he went down there, got a chance to look at Godzilla face to face, and he touched Godzilla, told Godzilla bye, and then the nuclear bomb went off and it totally recharged Godzilla so he could get back in the fight. But what it also did, it made Godzilla brew like Godzilla on steroids, like Ultra Godzilla, where he is nuclear. He could walk through. He like walk in fire and stuff like that. So it gets to a point where he's finally meeting Ghidorah again, and Mothra came out of cocoon. Mothra became the butterfly, and Mothra was getting down. Mothra was a good butterfly, helping Godzilla fighting Rodan, and then Mothra got zapped by Ghidorah, killed Mothra or whatever, and so the woman doctor, her daughter ran away. They found her, and then the woman doctor to help Godzilla, because he got to a point where he was getting bested by Ghidorah again. She went and sounded off that little machine she had, so Ghidorah could follow her, and by her being followed, give Godzilla a chance to, rejuvenate again and come back and fight. And she really sacrificed her life. And then by this time, this when Godzilla became nuclear, and then he really he fried Ghidorah. And after he fried Ghidorah, all the other monsters surrounded him, and they all started to bow to Godzilla, basically saying he's king. And then that's basically the plot of the story, So it was a decent film. There was a post-credit scene. The post-credit scene, one of the heads from Ghidorah, they captured one of the heads of Ghidorah, and they kept it in a group that was with the Dr. Emma Russell, that was, letting these things loose. When they let her go on her own to find her daughter, they were saying, we got everything we need. So they plan on doing something sneaky with the head, or trying to create their own, whatever they're trying to do. And so that's letting you know it's going to be another one. Then it showed like artifacts of King Kong versus Godzilla. So that's going to be the next big thing. It's going to be interesting to see how that even is going to happen for them to join together. It would have been dope if the post-credit scene would have alluded to how Godzilla and King Kong is going to come, where they going to have to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Because I thought all the monsters that was coming, I thought, well, hey, who going to help Godzilla? And then basically they were saying Godzilla is pretty much, if you knock down the head, the lead, which is Ghidorah, Godzilla be the lead and everybody will follow him. So that summed that up. So overall, it was a decent film. I go with a 3 stars out of 4 in the 4-star rating system. It was a decent film. I enjoyed it. Probably watch it again just to see if I missed anything. Like the video, subscribe, like the video. It puts the video in the search engine. Till next time.